Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This, of course, is another anime reaction video. Today, we are getting into some more daily lives of high school boys. This is kind of exciting because a lot of the other series have been getting into, well, save for Gintama, have been a lot of very serious, well, at least semi-serious, well, pretty serious stuff in their overarching narratives. So it'll be kind of fun, and in an upcoming Gintama reaction, we're going to be getting some more, I presume, serious stuff with a 5-episode arc, which I will try to get into one video, but no guarantees yet as of this recording. But yeah, I mean, you won't know until that comes out eventually. But so it'll be kind of nice to get back into a more chill, laid back type thing with Daily Lives of High School Boys, where it's just like just laughing at whatever the fuck the main trio, whatever kind of shenanigans they're going to be getting into this episode. I honestly do hope for maybe not necessarily more of the high school girls are funky or whatever during the main episodes, but definitely more in like the end credit scene, just seeing what they're up to every once in a while. But man, either way, let's get straight into it. As always, unless you're new here, there will be links down in the description below that will take you to the full-length uncut reaction, so go ahead and watch the reaction there, and then you can come back to YouTube for the discussion. Without further ado, let's get started with episode 5 of the Daily Lives of High School Boys. Best gag from this episode, I think. Well, best gag would probably have to be like the thing that I found the funniest. Without having to, because I'm pretty sure one of the funniest things I said last time was high school girls are funky, which, because that is a great like segment, but I think the funniest segment for me was the segment with the 3 delinquents requesting equipment from Ringo, and that random guy who came waltzing in thinking he was saving the day. And you know what? I could project onto him, just like say that he was thinking he was doing good, or he was only helping because he wanted something out of it, but I genuinely think he could have just been wanting to do the right thing, and it was so cool. And again, I love the sort of subversion, or whatever you want to call it, of the whole like delinquents trope, because they're not delinquents per se, they're just dudes that look a little bit scary. It reminds me of Asahi from Haikyuu. He just happens to look scary, but he's actually super nice. And like, he can be intimidating when he wants to if he wants something, but what I initially interpreted their aggression towards him as was just like to get him to go away so they could keep their conversation, was actually them trying to look like the bad guys, take on the mantle of being the bad guys, so that he could feel like he did something good and not really awkward because he accidentally stepped in on something that doesn't concern him and wasn't even a dangerous situation that he needed to intervene in the first place. And that's just gold to me. I love that. I would have nominated or stated that my favorite segment, or the funniest segment, would have been the masked hero with Hidenori. But that honestly wasn't even like the funniest segment to me, because it was basically just one joke at the end where he really looks up to and respects this little kid in the mask who's helping people, but it was actually Yoshitake, this person that he's been friends with for a long time, and he's just like, it's kind of a reality destroying to meet your heroes or your favorite celebrities or whatever. So I imagine that's kind of what it was, but it was a really sweet story where we actually got a little bit of like a serious character moment with Hidenori, and when he was bullied when he was younger, and having a savior to look up to make him feel better, and you know, being called by his hero at the time, his precious friend or whatever. It must have really like made him feel good, and that was really sweet. So I also kind of wanted to nominate the part 3 of the book loving girl, but on one hand it was not only a lot shorter, it was also kind of repetitious. Well, this is a bit embarrassing. My power went out. It's weird that I got a little power hit there, because it's bright, it's not raining, it's not storming of any kind. I almost went to do this because I usually do that with my long hair, but it's gone now. But anyway, that was weird. I don't know why that happened. Thankfully, Because I record the camera or whatever with OBS, and I have it set to a file setting, so even if the power hits, I'll keep all the data of the recording, so I have the entire reaction to episode 5, but I did lose my screen capture, because I record my screen with a different software called Shadowplay, just so I can adjust audio in post, so it's not a problem. I might go back to just doing it in one file, because that makes it a lot easier, but I had issues with audio before, because I just didn't check it. If I get better about checking the audio, it should be fine, but even though I lost the screen capture, it just means I'll have to manually make sure the episode 5 and the actual like camera of my reaction is in sync before I finish it. This is gonna take a slightly bit more work. Usually I don't have to worry about that, but it's fine. I'll get over it. But real quick, one thing I want to look up before I go on is the Daily Lives of High School Boys opening, because it sounds so similar to one of the Gintama openings. It is by Mix Speakers Inc. Mix Speakers. No, it was just that one. Weird. Am I insane? Hold on, give me a second. I want to now I have to listen to the Gintama and Daily Lives of Boys opening real quick, just to make sure I'm not insane. Alright, and then let me go over to Gintama. It sounds so similar. Unless I'm going actually insane, it sounds really similar. Does it not sound similar? Am I insane? Alright, you have to let me know what you all think in the comments or something, because it's by Red Balloon, but the other one was, whatchamacallit, Mixed Speakers. It sounds so similar. Whatever. I'll play it side by side in editing, and I'll determine once and for all if it does actually sound similar. Whatever. Another great episode. Fingers crossed, because this is around the time, or after, further along the discussion when my computer, or not my computer, but my entire electricity stopped working. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But real quick, before I get into my favorite parts of this episode, I need to look up Mitsuo from Daily Lives of High School. Alright, yeah, there he is. Okay, Nobuhiko Okamoto also voices, what's his name? Oh, that's right. That's who else I remember him for. He voices Gyacho in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, Golden the Wind, and also Nishinoya from Haikyuu. Oh! And Karma from Assassination Classroom. Anybody else I recognize? Yeah, no, I don't recognize anybody else. Alright, that's fine. I mean, that's a fun little addition to the cast. I hope he shows up more, because I like his voice actor. He's a very fun voice actor. Does yelling stuff. He does yelling and screaming a lot. And that crying bit, I know it was a goof, but it genuinely had me feeling a little bit bad for him. So favorite gag this episode. It has to be Tadakuni's little sister's troubles. That was really funny. Mostly because there was just so much that wasn't explained. It was setting itself up to be a pretty decently serious, just like, conflict, so to speak. I don't want to call it a conflict, because it's really not that serious. But it was just such like a fun little mini story where I couldn't really know what side I wanted to be on, because they kept adding information. And you know what? Genuinely, a lot of the comedy that I felt in this situation probably had to come from me speculating on things, like what was she saying? Did she hit back? What's gonna happen when they meet again? But I think my favorite part from this entire thing had to have been all of the boys coming in anyway, just to watch over, to make sure nothing happened, even though they said she had to take care of it herself. That was both funny and sweet at the same time. And also, I'm surprised by how mature that situation was, where in her head she was planning on defending herself if need be, but in the boy's head he was just thinking, that was fucked up, I need to say sorry. and be done with it. I shouldn't keep trying anymore. Because again, you know, it's one of those things where, yeah, we should be, you know, equal, men and women and whatever else. If you were to hit someone or be hit, it's well within your right or their right to retaliate with lesser or equal force, you know. But responding to like verbal attacks or physical attacks, generally that's not an okay thing. You know, if it's really, really bad and it's like a continuous thing, if it's like bullying where you're just getting like constantly verbally harassed by people like every day, then I'd say it might be okay. But generally speaking, that's not an appropriate response. So no matter what she said, I'm still more on her side than I am on the guy's side, because just resorting to physical violence because of maybe bad roasting or whatever you want to call it is a bit much. IMO, you know. I think if she hit first or whatever, then that would have been perfectly fine. That would have been a perfectly fine retaliation. But either way, just like the theme of helping people out throughout this episode, obviously there were some different things here and there that didn't really fit in with that sort of theme. Obviously the beginning volleyball one, getting chased around by Yoshitake, I believe. Yeah, Yoshitake's older sister. But then we had, oh yeah, and then the stuff with the teacher, with the printout that was wrong. But for most of it, it was about helping people. Even in that last one with Mitsuo, that was technically within that theme of helping people, because Hidenori was helping Mitsuo with his special moves, which are insane, by the way. And then obviously the high school girls are funky. The funky high school girls had to completely ruin even a little bit of what that theme was supposed to be about by helping their friend get a boyfriend, but actually making things 10 times worse, because not only did the two friends totally embarrass her in front of this guy, it also dredged up some of her past and her memories to embarrass her even more about how she used to be when she was younger, and also setting up for apparently something between her and Karasawa. So shit, I'm interested to see what happens next. So, but I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about this episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single upload in the future. That all being said, thank you once again for watching. Peace.